Hey everyone, welcome to Take Charge Thursday, and this one is a really super fun, quite an incredible technique, and I think you're really going to enjoy being able to use up all your beautiful papers. There is a product though that you will need to create this to get the same look, and that is acetate. So hopefully you've got some acetate at home. Close to my heart do sell now 12 by 12 sheets of acetate, and it is such an amazing quality, but of course, if you don't have that acetate on hand, grab a laminating pouch and laminate it and then create it. But I just want to show you, can you see all that beautiful reflection that keeps happening? It's like a little bit of a disco ball. That's because of the acetate. So we are going to create this fun technique. We're going to start with the larger squares, and then I'm just going to tell you how to create the smaller squares. So let's get going. So with the 12 by 12 acetate, there's a sheet here. I just cut that down to a 3-inch width, so it's going to be 3 by 12. It doesn't matter if it's not 12 inches in length. You're going to probably want at least 6 to 7 inches though, to fit across whatever you're working with. You'll see in a little while, but I am just going to create this one at 3 for a couple of reasons. It means I can cut a 12-inch sheet into 4 pieces exactly, and also 3 is an exact dividing number of 12. So I'm going to use my zip strips now, and I'm going to cut those down to 3-inch widths. So these are all my zip strips that have been cut down to 3-inch widths. So obviously a zip strip, not obviously, I'm going to explain. A zip strip is the paper that comes on the top of Close to My Heart 12 by 12 sheets, and it is 12 inches in length because it comes off the top of a paper pack. It tells you which paper pack it comes off, and it's 1/2 inch deep. So if you do not have zip strips, all you need to do is cut 1/2 inch pieces, okay? So, but this is a brilliant way to use zip strips. Okay, so I've got my zip strips cut to 3 inches, and obviously, so they're 3 by 1/2 inch strips. So this is a great place to start. It's not tiny, but it's still nice and small for that really fun technique. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these strips onto my acetate. So with the Close to My Heart acetate, it does have a protective coating. So I'm just going to check which side it's on. Okay, that's the side it's on. So now I'm going to put that protective coating down onto the table for now, and I'm going to stick my strips on. So basically you just grab a strip, and then you run adhesive, and you will have to run it from end to end. You need it stuck all the way through because we don't know where we're going to cut this, okay? So it needs to be stuck all the way down, and then we just need to stick these strips onto the acetate. Getting that first one on is tricky, making sure I am on the acetate. Okay, so it's on there now. No particular order, just random. And in fact, the first couple I did, I followed a very specific pattern, and then I discovered it is actually really cool if you mix it up. Okay, and now I'm going to stick the second piece onto the acetate, and I am going to leave a gap. Okay, and this is all you need to do. This is step number 1. So let me do it as fast as I can so that I don't hold you up. It's very important though that you have tape all the way from side to side, and you try and get your gaps similar. Okay, you don't want really big gaps and then really small gaps. You want them fairly even. So eyeballing obviously is the best way to go because you don't want to sit there and measure, but if they're not 100% exact, it's okay. It will still work really well. So this particular time I've chosen to go with a really lovely black and colourful scheme out of my zip strips, but I'm thinking this is also going to look so incredibly amazing with Christmas zip strips, so which is going to be really cool. And I think you're going to find that once you've learnt this technique, it's quite addictive. I've already been thinking of so many other ways I can use it, and I discovered yesterday we can even do it on shapes. So I did it on a circle. So this is the setup, the preparation, and then once the preparation is done, then you can just enjoy the creativity afterwards. So right, and I found that a 3 by 12 inch piece will get you roughly 2 large card fronts, but if you're doing slightly smaller projects, then you're going to get quite a few projects out of it. Oh, look at this. This one wasn't even a zip strip. It was in my zip strip bag. It was a piece of paper, cut at 1/2 inch. And I know that because it's actually got a colour on the back instead of the writing. Well, there you go. Okay. So any tape adhesive will do. I'm just using the Tombow tape runner that close to my heart carry. But you do want it roughly the width as well as the paper, as well as the length from side to side, because you'll discover that you'll start cutting angles, and then if there's not a piece of tape over that piece of strip, you might just have to just put a little bit of glue on it and tape it back on. But you'll discover all these things, as I did myself, when you first start doing things. So it's all about learning and playing and experimenting and finding new ways. And you know, you might take what I'm teaching you today and design something completely different, and that's what's really cool about learning from one another. Okay, there's no right or wrong. I'm just giving you a concept, and then you can go ahead and run with it and forge new ideas and design new great things. Right, it's very sticky. Okay, I'm nearly there. I want to do it right because then it means I can create a couple of beautiful artworks with it as well. Plus, it's best that you see it done properly. So as you can see, it's really coming together. I'm nearly there. This is the other reason why it's really cool to have all your paper cut next to you and not cut only a couple, stick a couple, cut a couple. Just have them cut, and then you just get through the process of putting it together nice and quickly. Okay, so far it just looks like strips on acetate, but once this is all stuck, we're actually going to take this and put this in our paper trimmer and cut it down, and we're going to create that illusion. And that's really what we're doing. We're going to create an illusion of tiny squares to go on a project. Then everybody can comment to you how patient you are and how clever you are, it's nice. It's lovely having those compliments, and I really appreciate them. And I'm sure as a crafter yourself, you love it when people acknowledge and take the time to compliment you on your work too. So thank you very much to all of those who take the time to watch Take Charge Thursday, create with Take Charge Thursday, and then pass on their compliments. Okay, I'm almost there, people. And as you can see, I have done it very random. I am not sitting there and going, that one, that one, that one, repeat. I'm not repeating, I'm just randomizing it. Just not putting the same two next to each other each time. Okay. And I'm going to fit one more on at the bottom there. And I'm going to make that the flowers. Okay. Now, before I put this into my trimmer, I am going to just remove that backing sheet off the back. So there we go, that's what the back looks like. Whole load of stuck down paper. You can see possibly you can see all the adhesive dots. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. And then I'm just going to grab my scissors and go at the top there and just peel that backing off. So see, there it is, a bit of plastic. Now I'm going to take my trimmer and I'm going to place this in. Now this is the important step. These are 1/2 inch in the width. Because they are half, I am going to cut this at half so that I create 1/2 inch squares. And down she goes, and there we go, 1/2 inch squares. And that's all I need to do now for the rest of this decorative acetated strip, is create my 1/2 inch squares. So I'll just cut 3 to start off with. Okay. Then I bring in what will be my, I had no tape on that. There we go. That's what happens when you have no tape on the back of your paper. You lose a soldier. Okay, there we go. Right, so this is my 5 by 3 3/4 front. So that's what I've done on these ones here. The white pieces are 5 by 3 3/4, and then the black matting is a 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, so 5 by 3 3/4 for this. And then basically I'm just going to stick this across like so. So I'm just going to turn it over so that I know which square starts and stops. And I'm going to put some adhesive behind those two, and then I'm just going to choose 2 more random ones. So I don't have to tape the whole back of it, but I make sure I put it over the actual squares of paper so that I'm not having any adhesive show through that acetate. Stick that onto my card front. Then I simply just take my scissors and I just trim off the excess of, there we go, the acetate / acetate paper. And then that's my first set of squares. Then I just need to take that piece there that's left over, and I might actually grab this one so that it lines up like so. So now I know where it's going, so I just turn it over. I'm actually going to stick this square and this one and this one in this corner here, because when it turns over it'll be the corner that's stuck onto the card. And then just line up those squares next to each other with a gap between so that we get that gapping, and just press it on down, make sure it's stuck good, and then we just grab our scissors and we just remove the excess like so. And then you just continue to repeat the process, and you just keep sticking down these strips onto your card, and then all of a sudden you've got this card full of little squares all over the card. And I didn't sit there cutting out a million 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch squares. I didn't stick each individual 1/2 inch square down. It did take a little tiny bit of preparation to stick it on the acetate and cut it, but certainly not as long as it would take to cut this many little squares. Stick them down, line them up, and not only that, as I showed you before, the acetate picks up all those reflections and it's so fun. Okay, so that is it. That is completely the concept. There is nothing more sinister to it. It's really quite simple, and it looks so fabulous when it's finished. So that's all you need to do. Just make sure that you have it on the reverse when you're sticking the adhesive on, just so you know where to stick. That's my biggest tip. Yeah, so I hope you really enjoyed this Take Charge Thursday. Okay, so then basically what you need to know is you can definitely cut from paper. You don't have to use zip strips. Okay, let me just put that aside for a minute. I'll go ahead and finish this one after the video and share it when it's finished, but I don't think you guys need to see me go all the way through and finish it. You can see exactly what's happening. Okay, so these ones are the 1/2 inch ones here, all finished, just with a little doodah in the middle. So really, when you come to decorate it, you don't want to put anything too big because you want to enjoy the beauty of all of that, you know, those squares. This one here, the squares are slightly smaller, so I cut the paper strips at 3/8 so that they went across the acetate. And so then because they're 3/8, then I had to cut them on the trimmer. When I put the acetate in, then I lined that up at 3/8 and cut it downwards. Okay, so whatever the height is of your strips, then that's what you cut it in the zip strip. And then this one here is even smaller because they're 1/4 inch strips. Okay, so I can actually show you that on my acetate. So there you go. So they're 1/4 inch strips all stuck on, and then I popped that into my trimmer and I cut it at 1/4 inch wide, which created all these beautiful ones. Now these are so tiny that I didn't actually tape them onto the card front with my tape runner. What I stuck them on was with the micro glue dots. So I just stuck a micro glue dot at the start and the end, and then maybe somewhere in the middle. Okay, and that's all it needed to hold it on. The glue dots are so strong. But the beauty of it being acetate and being see-through is you can even pop it onto colour. So I've stuck it on black, on a black circle here. Okay, so the acetate means you can see the black all the way through. It still catches the light. Oh yeah, there you go, you can see. Look at all that reflection and the light. And you just stick it on and just still use your scissors and trim it around. So there you go, my friends. That is my Take Charge Thursday for today. I hope you jump into your craft room and you start busting some of your stash, and you really enjoy creating with this concept. And again, if you don't have acetate, grab a laminating pouch and just laminate it. And then you will probably find that you'll end up being like me, and you'll end up having all these wonderful leftovers. So there's my 3/8. There you go, that's my 3/8 strip. So you can see the difference. Okay, so you can see the difference in the width, that the 3/8 is not as wide. It's to match the height of the depth. Okay, so when you've got, I think, I haven't had a go yet, but I'm thinking it's pretty cool that I will be able to grab all of these leftover strips and actually create the most fun card with just a randomizing of colors squares, so they don't even all coordinate, and I think that's going to be really fun too. So yeah, enjoy, and I would so love to see what you take and what you create with this idea. Thanks guys, bye.